ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Last week we discussed about the rules of relieving oneself, going to the toilet, and today we are going to continue on the rules and etiquette or manners of relieving oneself. In short words, the rules of going to toilet and going to urinate. Today we are going to discuss about three distinct topics. The first one is النهي عن التخلي في طريق الناس أو ظلهم. It is prohibited to ease yourself or to relieve yourself on the path of people, where people pass through, the road, where people are passing, or where people take their shade, like under the trees. It is forbidden to relieve yourself in those places. So the first hadith is the hadith of Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu. Abu Hurairah narrated that the Prophet ﷺ said, "Ittaqul la'inaini." قيل وما اللائنان قال الذي يتخلى في طريق الناس أو ظلهم أخرجه مسلم وأبو داود. So the Prophet ﷺ told them that they should be wary, they should be conscious of two things that brings causes to somebody. Two things that when you do, people will rain curses on you. They will bring curses on you. Then the Prophet ﷺ was asked, what are these two things that bring curse upon someone? Then he said, one, somebody that eats himself or relieves himself or urinates in a path where people are passing, on the road where people are passing. He will bring curse upon himself because people will be cursing him. So if you go and shit on a path where people are passing, they will be cursing you. The second one is somebody that relieves himself under the shade of a tree. Because people, normally when there is sun, they hide under the shade. They go under the shade so that they can be safe from the heat of the sun. So those two places, it is forbidden for you to go and relieve yourself. Either urinate or you excrete in those two places. It's clearly forbidden because if you do that, people will curse you and the curse of people will be upon you. So that is why it is not good to use those two places, especially the road and where people take rest, to ease yourself. The second prohibition is when you urinate on a water that is not flowing, a stagnant water, like water in a pond, in a birka. It doesn't flow to anywhere. You see the water, you go and urinate inside. It's also forbidden. Because when you urinate inside that water, you make the water dirty and unusable for other people who may like to use it. So any water that is not flowing, it is forbidden to urinate. You cannot urinate in the water inside the bucket because it's not flowing. You can't urinate in the water inside tank because it's not flowing. Water that is inside a pond, like a fish pond, where there are fish, you cannot urinate in it because that water is not flowing. So in this particular one, we have hadith of Jabir bin Abdullah radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that the Prophet ﷺ naha an yubala fil ma'i rakit. The Prophet ﷺ forbade us to urinate on a water that does not flow. That is a stagnant water. This hadith was transmitted by Imam Muslim in his Sahih. The third thing that is forbidden in this aspect, in the acts of relieving oneself or urinating or going to toilet, is al-istitaru inda taghawut wal bawlu qa'iman. These are also forbidden. That when you want to ease yourself, you must hide your body, you must hide yourself. Don't urinate or go to relieve yourself where people are seeing you. That is why it is not good for two people to enter toilet to go and ease themselves. If one is outside, the other one will go inside. But for two people to go to toilet at the same time, they are easing themselves is forbidden. You have to hide yourself when you are using the toilet. If one person is going to toilet, the other one will wait for the person outside. It's forbidden for two people to enter toilet together or to go outside anywhere people are seeing you, you go and urinate. Every people will be seeing you. It is not allowed. So this one we have the hadith of Huzaifa bin al-Yaman radiallahu anhu. He said that he was with the Prophet ﷺ. Then he saw the Prophet, he left him. The Prophet moved towards a place where people dump refuse, where they dump garbage, like where they throw dirty things. So he went there, and the Prophet urinated while standing. Prophet urinated while standing. So in this hadith, we knew that it is allowed to urinate standing. Only that it is better that you squat, you bend down if you want to urinate. But if you are in a place that is dirty, like the place the Prophet went, where they are dumping dirty things, like where they are throwing dustbin and all these things, you cannot bend down, because if you bend down, the dirty on the ground will stain your clothes. Then you are allowed to stand in urinating. But if you stand in urinating, you make sure that the place you are, people are not seeing you, people are not coming to your front, and so that they will not see your nakedness. So they have to hide yourself when you want to urinate. That's what Prophet did. Then when he went there, Huzaifa radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was with him, said Tanahaitu. Then Anna went aside, far away from him. Then after he finished, he told Huzaifa to come. Say, come nearer to me. Then Huzaifa now came nearer from behind the Prophet. So he did not come from the front, came from behind. Then he was carrying water. Then Prophet performed ablution. Then and he did Masal al-Khuffain. You know Masal al-Khuffain. So he did dry ablution. He scrubbed his hand on his hoof, his two socks that he was wearing. So this is the third hadith on easing oneself. If you come to a place that you know the place is dirty, you cannot bend down to ease yourself, then you can stand and urinate. You can stand and ease yourself in that particular place. But it is better in all places, especially when you're inside the toilet, to bend down and urinate than standing. But if you stand, it is not forbidden. There's no problem in standing. There's no problem in it. Even some scholars said that if you stand, it helps to cure some sickness that are in the body. So standing urinating is not bad. But when you stand to urinate, make sure that urine you are urinating does not come to your clothes. Because if it comes to your clothes, you cannot use that clothes to pray again. So that is why it's always better to bend down while you urinate. Because if you are standing, the urine will come to your clothes in most time. It's where when you are urinating outside, the urine normally comes to your clothes. That is why you have to avoid it. The last hadith is hadith of Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah. He said that the Prophet ﷺ told him when he wanted to go and urinate or ease himself, the Prophet ﷺ at one time wanted to go and ease himself, wanted to go to toilet or he wanted to urinate. He told Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah that he should carry a small pot of water they call idawa. So Huzaifa now carried it. Then when he carried it for the Prophet, when the Prophet reached the place where he wants to urinate, he asked him to stop, and the Prophet went far until Al-Mughira bin Shu'bah was no more seeing the Prophet. That is to tell you that if you are with somebody you want to go and ease yourself, you go far from him and hide in a place where he cannot see you. When you now finish, you now come out. The Prophet now hide himself under that place, and he eased himself. He now came back. This is in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. So what these hadiths, all these four hadiths we just read are saying is that Islam prevents and forbids anything that can cause harm to other Muslims. We are not to cause harm to people. That is why it forbids urinating or shitting or excreting on the road or on the shades of people where people come to stay. Any place you see people are coming to take rest, you are not supposed to urinate in that place or throw dirty things on it. So that's why Prophet ﷺ, he said you cannot urinate or ease yourself on the road and also under the shade of tree or even in the water that is not flowing. It's forbidden for you to urinate on it. Because if you urinate on it, okay, some people may want to drink that water, they cannot drink it. Animals, when come to drink that water, they cannot. If they drink it, the water may harm them. But if like you are inside the sea or you are inside the river that the water that is flowing, you can urinate, because as you urinate, the water is plenty. As you are urinating, the water that is coming is cleaning the urine. So the urine does not stay in one place. The urine will mix, and it will mix the water will overpower the urine. And with that, the water is clean. So you can urinate inside the water that is flowing. But the water that is not flowing, it is forbidden for you to urinate in it. So this is what the Prophet ﷺ is teaching us. So that you will not cause harm to anybody, even to animals, if you are not allowed to cause harm to them. So what are the benefits? There are 5 things that we benefit from this lesson. The first one is that it is forbidden for you to urinate on the pathway where people are passing, the road, or under the shades of trees, or at the same time where people go to take water, like a stream or a place like pond where the water does not flow. Second thing is that it is forbidden to urinate on any water that is not flowing. The third thing is that it is compulsory for you to cover your body whenever you want to ease yourself. You don't allow other people to see you. And it's better if you are outside, you go to a place that is a bit far and hide yourself from people when you want to ease yourself. Number 4 is that it is allowed to urinate standing. If the place you are is dirty, you are allowed to urinate standing. Number 5, you are allowed to urinate in a place that is a bit closer to you, not a place that is too far. But if you want to go to toilet, you have to go to a place that is a bit far from people, so that nobody will see you while you are using yourself or you are using the toilet. Wa sallallahu wa sallama ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.